Hey everybody, hope everybody is doing well. So a lot of people on my channel have been talking about immigration and how, more importantly, there hasn't been a lot of ICE raids or not much has been done. But I will point out that even though you may not be satisfied with the administration, you have to give them credit about the fact that deportations and raids have increased, especially the rate, and especially the fact that employers have been targeted more than ever. And that was my number one method of fighting unlawful immigration. You don't really need to target the families. What you need to do is you need to especially target the employers, because that is what really needs to get done. And as you can see here in this article, and by the way, once again, I do not trust or rely on Breitbart, but they do have some good points that you can share. ICE arrests 680 illegal aliens in the largest single state raid in American history. So let's see what's going on. They're breaking records, ladies and gentlemen, and hopefully we're going to see more of that soon. We can see thousands of them. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency arrested 680 illegal aliens who've been working at 7 Mississippi food processing plants, federal officials confirmed on Wednesday. Now, the thing about I have with this ICE raids is that it took place in Mississippi. And as you know, Mississippi has one of the lowest unlawful immigrants than any other state in the U.S. And I really wish it would have taken place in a state probably like New York, New Jersey, California, and especially here in Nevada. My question is, when are they going to finally start to come in places like Las Vegas and, for heaven's sakes, to raid the Culinary Union and many other casinos, not to mention construction sites? And by the way, speaking of the Culinary Union, they're about to strike pretty soon. They're going to strike this Friday at the Palms at 6 p.m. So if you want to come and see me, you're more than welcome to do so. And I'm going to be out there with my megaphone. I'm going to be interviewing some people because their whole idea of illegal aliens and supporting them is just getting out of hand. But anyway, I'll get to that later on in the video. So as you can see right here, ICE agents conducted the largest state raid in U.S. history and the largest workplace raid in 11 years, where they arrested 680 illegal aliens across 6 cities. Not since 2008, when about 595 illegal workers were arrested. According to federal officials, some of the hundreds of illegal aliens arrested Wednesday have already ordered deported by an immigration desk and refused to self-deport. These illegal aliens will be quickly deported. Other illegal aliens yet to go through the immigration courts and will be afforded a review process where they will make a case to remain in the United States. Okay, because then once again, not all of them are going to go. But the question is, will they go, and will we reduce their incentives to stay in the United States? And let's go right here. You can see all the photos. Look at all this. And by the way, you know, it's kind of interesting that how the Democratic Party really reacts to this, believe it or not. They say, oh, well, the children are separated. They have no care. You know, this is just so harsh. They're hardworking. But the Democrats do not at least fight back and condemn the fact that the employers were hiring them, and at least that they should be fined. Because that's what we need to do. We need to investigate and register every employer in this country and mandate that they e-verify. And if they can't, we will fine them. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Mississippi, Mike Hurst, told the media in a press conference, "Without the enforcement of law, there's no justice. The processing plants raided by ICE include the Koch Foods Incorporated, and they're not related to the Koch brothers. ICE officials said the investigation into illegal aliens and their employers are ongoing and could not comment on the specifics of the case. They are not victimless crimes. Illegal workers create vulnerabilities in the marketplace, as well as stealing the identities of legal workers, citizens, and legal immigrants alike, who will suffer long-term consequences of their identities. See, this is the thing. The left continues to portray that, oh, well, they're hardworking people. But here's how a lot of them come. They come here illegally. Again, and many of them are visa overstays. I understand that. And we can find overstays. But when they come here illegally, they steal identities to work, as Kevin DeLeon has admitted this. This is a fact. And then when they work, they devalue wages. They create more competition in terms of getting a job. Benefits go down. In fact, other employers have to rely on the cheap labor to remain competitive. Then you have changes of the work environment. There's obviously more employers require you to speak another language because the culture changes. And then here's really the problem. They bring their children, or they have anchor babies. Not to mention, these anchor babies get a lot of food aid, housing, health care, and so forth. And then what happens after all the subsidies? What do they do with all the extra income? They send the money abroad. And this is why the best way to deal with illegal immigration is to strip the welfare programs, tax the remittances, and fine the employers. And that's what we have to do at the state level here in Nevada. I've spoken to many other people in the legislature to do that. And we'll see how the left really, really reacts, believe it or not. So, once again, we are making progress. And not to mention, a lot of these illegal aliens will have at least some indirect effect on the political landscape. They fill up districts. Their children, who are citizens, eventually could vote, and they could change our laws. And I'll expose more about what happened at the legislature here. So it's just a lot of problems. But they continue to say, oh, well, they're hardworking people. And then let's just go down the comments list. Thank you, Mr. Binder, for using a very accurate term, illegal aliens. Well, yeah. I mean, I use the term unlawful migrants, or you can call them basically roaches. I don't know. And so there's a lot of comments. A lot of people have subscribed to this news agency. Now, I wanted to show you something what's happening here locally. And you can see right here, I'm going to just go on to my Facebook account. And I wanted to just show you what happened locally. I think a lot of the news agencies just covered it. It's called the Nevada Immigrant Coalition. And as you know, if you are really somebody coming here illegally, I don't think you would really call them an immigrant. An immigrant is somebody who has a legal right to be in this country. So as you can see here, a lot of these scumbag organizations are working very, very hard. And they work with these scumbag politicians, as you can see right here. Once again, you are basically funding taxpayer dollars to support politicians, and these politicians sell you out. And as you can see here, here is this Astrid Silva, the most dangerous person probably in our state. And this is probably the main reason why I do not support DACA. And you can see here they blocked me, even though I haven't commented anything. So, like I said, all these immigrant groups already know who I am because they're a bunch of scumbags. And then you can see here they have a press release. This is from Erica Castro. This is her number right here. Now, if you want to give them a call, I welcome you do that. Tell them what a bunch of whatever they are. And by the way, Erica Castro was the one who confronted me 2 videos ago at the vigil. So think about that. They're getting pretty shocked and alarmed, and more of us are waking up. It took us fearless community to stand up to ICE. Adriana, a mother of 3. You see, this is the problem. They say, oh, well, they're separating our families, but they never really talk about other American families who are separated by family court laws, the homelessness, the poverty, all these different things. They don't talk about that, or the fact that we have a lack of nuclear families. This is the thing. The natural, healthy part of life has been disappearing. It is a huge win for this family and our community. So as you can see here, the stunning legal decisions despite ICE efforts to keep her incarcerated show that courts do not agree with ICE actions or keep arguments behind bars. This is the Soul, the lawyer. Wow. Well, it came here illegally. Now, the question is that person eventually going to leave? Is ICE agents going to come back? Or who knows? We could find the employer. We can do all these things so that the family entirely is going to have to leave. And then you can see here, this is Arriba, Las Vegas. I know this person, by the way. I have actually filmed, and she has been one of the individuals who has been a couple of my YouTube videos before. Can't remember her name. She has been running this organization, just basically defending open borders and lawlessness. This is really getting out of hand. So this is the thing you have to understand, that this bullcrap is happening at your local community. Even though you're not living in a city like Los Angeles where they're taking your taxpayer funds to fund their legal aid services, many organizations are doing that. And as you can see here, Progressive Leadership of Alliance, Mi Familia Vota. I mean, Mi Familia Vota is just a racist organization. It's basically catering to the Hispanic community, telling who they should vote, and open borders. Make the Road Nevada, and I can show you that organization, obviously these are paid agitators. And by the way, at the vigil, I had a nice conference or conversation with the head of it, and I just told them, hey, whatever you're doing, you have to start working for us too. We're American citizens. And lastly, not least, the Culinary Workers Union in the bottom of your screen is representing this. So you can see your labor unions, they take your dues, even though that many of the labor workers are American citizens, and then they use that money to fund illegal alien cases. This is pretty sad, and all this devalues your wages, believe it or not. And this is just to show you that, once again, I think it's very likely that that woman who got protected from deportation is getting welfare because their children are anchor babies, and, believe it or not, she's probably working for the Culinary Union or any of the casinos that hire her. This is the sad part. But they're not telling you the whole story. They're just basically saying, oh, it's so cruel, it's so harsh, all this bull crap. And again, these are the numbers right here. If you want to give them a call, tell them what you guys think about this. Why do they keep supporting this lawlessness? And the Culinary Union, they need to be confronted. This organization needs to be exposed. They're scum. ICE needs to raid their offices. And you need to spread this word. Now, the problem is that the people, unlike a few like myself, are not willing to fight back. They think it's all just ballot boxes and elections. And we know that just voting for people like Trump is not enough. Folks, you have to get out into the streets and fight back. That's how it is. And you also have to understand that the game is going to change pretty soon. I've talked about in my previous video that we're going to have lots of economic problems because the real estate market is struggling. You just saw what happened in the stock market recently. There's a lot of signs that a downturn is coming. And the problem is a lot of our economy is based on debt. And how long can this low interest rate economy continue? It can't go on forever. And how does this affect immigrants? Well, because they depend on these low interest rates to pump up the job market, to pump up the welfare programs, you name it. Because if interest rates go up, how are we going to afford the interest payment on our national debt? And more importantly, this is another thing where the Culinary Union is really scared about, is the technological changes due to labor. Because as you know, a disproportionate number of jobs that they represent that are done especially by legal or illegal immigrants are going to be gone, folks. And the question is, what's going to happen to their children as well, who are more likely suitable to do low-skilled work? We're going to pump them up with welfare. Well, the question is, who's going to pay for it? And I know a lot of people say, well, we can tax Amazon, like Andrew Yang has been talking about. Well, the thing is, even if they do get basic income, I do think a lot of them are going to move back to their home countries because that money can buy them more. As a matter of fact, a lot of these immigrants have even talked about going back to their home countries because once they get their retirement packages, they can retire a lot easier where they came from. Or I don't know, maybe basic income can be proposed in those foreign countries, and I guess there's really not going to be a monetary incentive to come here. In other words, folks, I think that in the long run, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos is going to have a longer-term impact than Donald Trump. All right, well, let me know what you guys think. Please share this video. Please subscribe. And if you like, there's a donation link below. Thank you so much. Take care. And please spread this video.